communities, gated communities?
Not in that price point that he's looking in right now. It's very hard. So
Okay.
We just got to see what his appraisal looks like, and then kind of go from there. We'll gauge it from there, and then we can kind of, if we can bump it up, then it'll probably be more favorable on his behalf.
Man, nothing in Lehigh around 250 right now. That's pleasant.
I mean, it's gonna take a look. Some of them need work. I mean, he's saying he won't move in ready. He want updated appliances, updated. He wants something updated.
Yeah.
Which I can understand that. He want what he want.
Yeah. We all do.
Right.
Good day, everyone. We got everything set to go. We are ready to rock and roll. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. If y'all are coming in from Lehigh, traffic was absolutely insane.
Always.
So, well, today was extra. I saw 2 accidents and in just traffic in general. I generally set up about 15, 20 minutes ahead of time, and that's when I get all my prep done, but traffic ate away all that time. Plus, just in general, I didn't get done last night because I got the baby and I got this, that, and the other, all the fun stuff. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. Let me get the notes for the attendance. Come on now. The attendance. All right. We will not do that there. Now it updates. Now it updates. So upset. Anyway. All right. We have Mr. West. We have Miss Ebony. We have Miss Kaina. We have Joe. We have Clifford. We have guest being Miss Myrtle. And all right. And then I know Miss Serene is coming in. Is that you, Brian? You iPhone? All right. Oh, that's Joe. That's Joe. Never mind. And then, all right. So Serene will join us in a moment. All right. So
what principle are we in with the principles of success?
We're on principle 18, rejection.
All right.
All right. So any quick announcements? The one announcement I have is the Community Land Bank meeting will be next Thursday, and we said 3 o'clock, correct?
No, it was 3 o'clock.
It was 2 or 3. I thought it was 3 that we finished up on.
I thought it was 2 o'clock because we said we were going to spend 2 hours.
Okay, 2 o'clock then.
2 to 4.
All right, 2 to 4. All right. So next week, Thursday, 2 o'clock. Any other announcements?
Hey, what was the date on that? I didn't miss. You kind of went in and out.
That is February 16th.
Okay.
Murder has an announcement.
What's your announcement, Miss Myrtle?
Okay, I guess you talking about February 13th, the event I'm having at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center.
All right.
Yes, and Wes is going to be one of my speakers as well. Cornell Bunting, who has also been to prison and come out very, very successful man. And I have another special guest that's coming, but I haven't gotten a full confirmation from her yet. So
tell us what the event is about.
Yeah, so it's for reducing, hopefully to help, not hopefully, we are going to be reducing recidivism in Lee County, helping the process because there's a lot of things already happening in the community. But there's a missing piece that there's no focus specifically on African-American men, first-time offenders. And that's where I come in at because I have personal experience with it in my family. And I know just based on research that population gets ignored and they use and put all those numbers together and you feel like they're reducing recidivism for us all, but it really isn't. It's a little bit lopsided because they can use any story they want saying they're reducing recidivism. But what I noticed even when I went to the meeting is that they're helping, they have a lot of women they've helped, but I haven't heard of anybody who's helping African American men. So I just want to have a conversation about that. I think it's very important.
I love that, Mama, and I've also been to prison, so I love that, and it's extremely hard getting out of prison and trying to rebuild your life. I was fortunate enough to have an awesome support system and support team, not only while I was in prison, but also when I came home. And it's it's crazy because me and one of my buddies were just talking about this, because I see two guys that's walking around homeless and they're like, they're lost. And I was locked up with them, and that was pretty much an issue with them. They came home, didn't they kind of, when you're exiting prison, they give you like lists of shelters and stuff like that that you can kind of go to once you're released. But I mean, even when you get out I didn't have to reach out to none of those, thankfully. But I know one or two guys that did, and like you said, they didn't get any help at all. Like even just, the simple things, like they give you like a $200 food stamp card and basically like, hey, start your life over. And that's pretty much it. And, that's hard for some people who don't have a support system. So I love that. And I think I'm definitely going to be there. I'll definitely pull up. What time is it?
That's what I was just about to ask. Time and location, Ms. Myrtle. Time and location.
You're on mute, Myrtle. We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, because I'm having such a hard time keeping my phone up. I'm so sorry. It keeps falling. And then I'm realizing the sun is not directly where it needs to be. Anyway, because we got to have the sun directly on our skin for the melanin to show and pop.
If you put the phone
a big shadow.
Behind the phone, it comes out best.
Yeah, I heard everything you said. I didn't see a name for you.
That's Joe. Time and location. Until
Joe, nice to meet you. Thank you. I definitely resonate with everything you're saying. And I'm so excited. Like, I think I'm trying to contain my excitement about all of this, because I believe that this ignored population is I have a lot of feelings about it, but I'm ready. I'm ready to do what I know is inside of me, to organize, to bring people together, to make a huge difference. Am I still on mute? Damn. Oh, no.
What time is it and where is it?
You did ask that question. 11 o'clock a.m. at Southwest Florida Enterprise Center.
All right. And hi,
I just wanted to acknowledge him, because I know he kind of put himself out there. And I know it's not easy to talk about having been to prison and stuff like that. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Honestly, I love talking about it, because I feel like,
oh, good. That's what I need.
If I can come home and boss up, I feel like
Mm.
if I can come home and boss up, I want to help
Right.
somebody else boss up. And to be honest with you, one of my personal goals this year, I have buddies of mine, close friends that's still in the streets, and I want to snatch their ass out of the streets. And like a lot of them, they don't know the way. They don't know that, like, bro, it's easier to go the business route, bro. Like you're risking your freedom, your life, you're risking so much by being in these streets and doing the wrong things. So I honestly love talking about it, because I want to use myself as an example.
That's why I think this conversation is going to be so important on February 11th at February 13th at 11 a.m. is because other people need to see that there's freedom in sharing their story. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a lot of people that don't feel the way you do.
All right,
they're suffering in silence.
Joe, hey, hello. Can y'all hear?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear you. No,
Okay.
I wasn't ignoring you. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
No worries. All right, we got to get back on topic, but Myrtle and Joe, we'll get your contact information. Is that way you two can go over more details?
Gotcha.
And how we can get better connected on that. Kai, I believe you have an event coming up as well.
Yes, thank you for reminding me to say it in the group. It's going to be February 24th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Southwest Florida Enterprise as well. And we are going to be talking about how we can get people homes in this market. I'm very big, to know a little bit of background about me is I didn't have my own room until I purchased my first home. So I'm very big on creating legacy with purchasing property. I'm very big on just creating wealth in real estate. So come bring people that you know. Again, it's a free event and we just want to educate people. I will have a lender there as well. So even Ebony, I believe she's an agent as well. If you want to network with that agent, with that lender, because he does speak Creole. So if you have any Haitian clients that need translation, go ahead, use him. Let's all work together so that we can get people homes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
All right, any other announcements or events we have coming up?
Well, the Kingdom Press drops this month.
All right, Kingdom Press.
Yeah, baby.
All right,
Let's go.
outstanding. Oh, I do have, there's going to be a business expo in Lehigh Acres that I'm working with the Rotary Club to do. So we have that coming up. It's going to be at the end of April. We don't have the date 100% set yet. We're working on that. But those businesses in Lehigh, you're ready to get a table and showcase. All right. So with the anybody else announcements? We good on announcements?
Do we have a date and a time for when you're doing that in Lehigh?
Not yet.
April. The end of April, right?
That's all we have so far. All right.
Big business expo.
We're working on it. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
Oh man.
All right. Excuse me. End of April. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and do some introductions. Good day, everyone. My name is Clifford T. Mitchum. I am Mr. Sunshine, the solar guy of the group, and the vice president of DC Networking. We are an organization that is established to connect Black businesses in the area so we can have more business development and community involvement. Myself personally am the solar guy of the group. I help get you away from FPL and LCEC so you own your power. Electricity rates are shooting through the roof. Have them come my way, your friends and your family, and we'll get them running on sunshine. Now I want all of you to go forth and spread some
sunshine.
All right, let's start with Brian. We'll have you go, and then we'll go on online.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Franklin. I'm your health, life, and Medicare specialist of the group. A great referral to me or anyone that, actually, I don't want to use anyone. Specifically, what I'm looking for is a person that's uninsured. If you have anyone, I keep saying everyone, the person in your life who said they would go to the hospital or go to the doctors to check up on something or get a prescription, but hasn't yet because they don't have coverage, send them my way. I can write policies all year long for all types of coverages. So once again, my name is Brian Franklin. B Frank Solutions, benefits beyond your expectation.
Outstanding. All right, we'll go over to Miss Ebony next. If you want to go ahead and unmute.
After Ebony, we'll do Wes, and then we'll do Serene.
Okay, good morning, guys. This is Ebony Simmons, your Southwest Florida Realtor with Premier Lifestyle Group. My ideal client right now would be a buyer or seller. I love working with first-time home buyers and also relocation clients as well. My job is to help you secure the key to the locks that fit your new home.
Outstanding. Wes, you're up.
My name is Wes Musignac of the Kingdom Press newspaper. I am the founder and owner. The Kingdom Press is the striking news of our time. We are here to bring information on our community as far as the events that's affecting us negatively and positively. And it's going to be a place of resource for us to grow and change our mindset and basically shift the paradigm. The striking news is bringing things like, information on the hurricane and how to basically protect yourself, fend for yourself, information on what's going on right now with Russia and America and China. There's a big war probably coming on, but stay tuned about that. But keep aware, stay woke.
Outstanding. Miss Serene, you're up. We'll have Kai next, and then Joe, you'll finish up.
Good morning. I am Serene, and I'm the accountant of the group. Are you driven by excellence? Do you want numbers to add up and make sense? Is having a responsive accountant important to you? Well, then think Serene at Bookkeeping Reimagined. Reimagine your bookkeeping on the right road.
Outstanding. All right, Kai, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kaina Daysteen, but I go by Kai to make it easier for you. I am a broker associate in the Southwest Florida area, and I take care of all your real estate needs. So call me if you have any questions about real estate.
I would say, do you have a tagline?
Working on that.
No worries. All right, Joe, you're up.
Good morning. I'm Joe Simmons, president of DC Networking, and I'm also the owner of All Around Promotions.
We lost you, Joe.
We lost you after All Around Promotions. We'll give him a second. If it doesn't come through, then we'll move.
Right. All right. So we'll have to come back to Joe. And in short, Joe does all about promotions for all your promotional needs, from T-shirts, banners, step and repeats. You need window signage, anything related to promotional products, talk to Joe. He's your man. All around promotions is your #1 hotspot for your promotional needs. He'll say it better in his voice when his phone comes back in, though.
Did a good job, though.
That was a great job. You on payroll.
Thank
You
you.
on payroll.
All right. So what we want to focus on is getting our businesses, our Black businesses, connected to more Black businesses. So with that example set, Ms. Myrtle, you want to go ahead and give an introduction of your business, what you do, or what your ideal client would be?
All right, I guess I'm that.
Myrtle?
Joe, you back?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
I had
I
to
think-
take him, that's fine.
We let Ms. Myrtle go. We'll come back to you in a moment, though. Go ahead, Ms. Myrtle.
Okay. All right. So my name is Myrtle October. I am a singer, songwriter. Well, not songwriter, book. I am in insurance. But right now, my main focus in this group would be to get, support with helping people coming out of prison as first-time offenders and getting, help with that. So that's in a nutshell. My all social media platforms is Myrtle October. And also my email address is octobermyrtle@gmail.com if you're interested in wanting to help at all with this project.
Yeah. Ryan is our recruitment director. So he's going to get your contact info and make sure that we have it all so that way we can put it into the notes and everybody can get in touch with you, and particularly Joe about the event you have coming up. Cool. All right.
I forgot to mention that Brian is actually going to be my MC for that event. So, yeah,
Alright.
so I don't know. He's being all humble, but I just wanted to say thank you for that too. But anyway.
No problem. Thank you.
Perfect. So we'll get some more information for that as that comes, and we'll get it posted within the group and see what we can do to help promote that. All right. So from there, we're moving on to our book club, and our book club is going over Success Principles by Jacque Canfield. And we're on principle 18, which is rejection. So those of you that are on YouTube, it's at 7 hours, 48 minutes, and 10 seconds. And the key thing that I took away from that encapsulated means a no only means you're in the same spot. It's only when you actually tell yourself, oh, well, that's why so-and-so said I would never amount to anything, and I can't believe I can get that, is when you have that negative talk that puts you in a lower position. But if somebody's gets a no, you're in the same spot you started from. There's no change in it. So you have to reject the concept of getting rejected, because if you're not asking, you're not moving. If you're not doing the things to grow and develop, you're not actually advancing. And this really lines up perfectly with what we're doing, because this week, because we have a weekly focus as far as week 1 of the month is is business development. Week 2 is community development. Week 3 is a showcase. Week 4 is membership and growth. And week 5 is when we do our wind downs. So when we're talking about business development, we cannot be afraid to be rejected. We have to go for those big deals, because that's how we find out how we can grow, how we can overcome our challenges, how we can spread our wings. All right. So one of the key things that they had mentioned in that was with going through the no's is you never know when your yes is going to come in. He gave the example of someone that was doing some phone banking, and they had the commitment to do 3 calls a day. After 81 calls, they got no every single time. But on the 82nd, all the way up through the 91st, they were all yeses. If they had given up at 50 no's and said, you know what, this just isn't working. I can't handle it. This isn't happening. It's not meant to be. They would not have gotten to their yeses. You have to have that persistence, because every no you still get paid on once you get the yes. Gave another example of a gentleman that was asking for a book deal. Went through 100 or some odd no's before he got his first yes, and got $130,000 for that program. So that means every no that he got was basically $1,100 until he finally got that yes. So persistence, persistence, persistence. And the last story I'm going to finish off with was a little girl oh gosh, I forget the country she was in, but it was a country in Africa where you have to pay for schooling. And they only allowed 40 students into the school. And she was not included in the 40 students. And she was so heartbroken, but she couldn't accept no. She said, I want them to tell me to my face that I didn't get in, because she had done everything she needed. She met all the requirements and she worked hard for it. So she walked all the way to the school and talked to the school headmaster. And the headmaster said, you did accomplish everything, but you were the 41st girl. And she couldn't fight back the tears and the disappointment she had, but it was to her face. She couldn't fight it. She had to accept it. As she turned to walk back to her village, the other little girls surrounded her and said, you know what? I'll share my desk. We'll scoot our beds over. We'll do what it takes. Don't send her away. And if she had only accepted that no from the letter that she got, she never would have made it so far as to have those other girls coming together to support her and provide a shield of comfort to get her through that. And hearing that story, the people at the school went through, did some more fundraising and made a 41st spot for her because she rejected the idea of rejection. So input.
You want to read the top parts?
I listen to it on audiobook, so I don't have the physical one in front of me.
I have it.
Go for it.
If you're going to be successful, you are going to need to learn how to deal with rejection. Rejection is a natural part of life. You get rejected when you aren't picked for the team, don't get the part in the play, don't get elected, don't get into the college or graduate school of your choice, don't get the job or promotion you wanted, don't get the grades you wanted, don't get the appointment you requested, don't get the date you asked for, don't get the permission you requested, or get fired. You get rejected when your manuscript is rejected, your proposal is turned down, your new product idea is passed over, your fundraising request is ignored, your design concept is not accepted, your application for membership is denied, or your offer of marriage is not accepted. Rejection is a myth. To get over rejection, you have to realize that rejection is really a myth. It doesn't really exist. It is simply a concept that you hold in your head. Think about it. If you ask a girl to have dinner with you and she says no, you didn't have anyone to eat dinner with before you ask her, and you don't have to eat, and you don't have anyone to eat dinner with after you asked her. Sorry, the situation didn't get worse. It stayed the same. It only gets worse if you go inside and tell yourself something extra like, "See, mother was right. No one will ever like me. I am the slug of the universe." If you apply to Harvard for graduate school and you don't get in, you weren't in Harvard before you applied, and you are not in Harvard after you applied. Again, your life didn't get worse. It stayed the same. You haven't really lost anything. And think about this. You have spent your whole life not going to Harvard. You know how to handle that. The truth is, you never have anything to lose by asking. And because there is something to possibly gain, by all means, you ask. So there was this one thing called SW. Whenever you ask anyone for anything, remember the following: SW, which stands for some will, some won't, so what? Someone's waiting. Some people are going to say yes, and some are going to say no. So what? Out there somewhere, someone is waiting for you and your ideas. It is simply a numbers game. You have to keep asking until you get a yes. The yes is out there waiting. As my partner according to Canfield, Mark Victor Henson is fond of saying, what you want wants you. You just have to hang in there long enough to eventually get a yes.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Who else have thoughts on rejection?
I like to say something. There's a well-known coach that when this thought process, he talks about how children naturally reject rejection, and that we kind of fuss it out of them. We train it out of them, but naturally we are used to asking until you get your way. So many of us who have children are used to our child, especially at a young age, asking over and over again, can I get ice cream, or can I? And they don't get scared. They don't get scared to ask whatever they want.
Over and over. I know, my son is like that.
There's no fear in their heart at all. And that only shows that fear is something that's developed. Like, we have to teach them to be afraid to ask, don't ask me no more. Don't ask me no more, or no, or they just hear no, but some. But that shows that we were born with the innate ability to reject rejection, and all we have to do is unlearn whatever we've all learned in our adult and late adolescent lives. So getting in a mind state where we go, I'm not connected to you saying no or not. Like, your no doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't stop or start my day, and being able to move on from that no. I remember when I was younger, my friends and I would go holler at girls at the mall, and maybe that trained me for sales, because we'd be in the mall and they'd go grab the girl. Hey, my friend want to talk to you. I go up, I do my little game, and if it didn't work out, it was like, all right, then you just keep it moving until eventually you get a number. And but I think in moments like that, it makes me think of how I did that in golf to not care. Right. So okay, to learn from that, if I was able to do it then, I could do it now.
Same principle. I was saying, so hey, get out there. The key thing that really brings to me is when you create your reality, there's no rejection in that. We have this land bank idea. We're building it. We're putting it together. We don't have to go to a bank and have them tell us no. We don't have to go to some business and have them tell us no. We're creating our future, so we're guaranteed a yes. So when you take control of your day, take control of your destiny, you actually create your yeses, and you even reject the idea of rejection because you've already created a path that is laid out and prepared. So
that's true. When you're creating opportunity and you're giving people a chance to be a part of that opportunity, you basically stripped away all the no's you can possibly can, because you're the one not dictating, but making things happen. Basically, exactly what you said. That makes sense.
Exactly. So perfect. So we'll go on to principle 19, excuse me, which talks about taking advantage of feedback, and that starts at 8 hours, 10 minutes, and 30 seconds. So,
and just to be clear, Myrtle and Kai, are you guys are familiar with the book Success Principles? Did we already go over that with them?
No.
So just to kind of double back, we kind of jumped ahead of this. As a group, we have a reading that we're doing, Success Principles. We're well into the book, but we read it at least once per week. One principle a week. There's a lot of principles. I have the Audible book. This thing goes on forever. But
like 68.
Like 68 principles. But they tend to double back and tie into each other, so it's really good. Some of it goes deeper. But you can buy the Audible, you can buy the paper copy, but we also have a link that we'll send to you guys once, Kai, you're already gonna get the link. Myrtle will get it, talk about this later. But there's a link as well. And the YouTube, the free version, and then we tell the group, okay, this is the point in the YouTube video that you should be at to get to where we are in the book. So you can do the free copy or the whatever works best for you.
All right, so perfect. So next topic we do is getting into business development. So now one of the core principles of this group is what we refer to as the checklist. The checklist is a 6-month walk step-by-step of what a business should focus on to make sure that they're inviting to investors. So for when somebody has access to capital, ensuring that their business is established properly, that most businesses struggle because they don't have access to funds. When it really comes down to just making sure somebody's business paperwork is done properly, unless you know banks are willing to hand out money to businesses. For example, we had the hurricane. And after the hurricane, my business essentially ground to a halt because the roofs are messed up. There's no electricity. There's no permits that were allowed. I wasn't able to do anything. So I went ahead and tapped into the banks. I asked for 42,000. They gave me 30,000 of capital at 0% for 6 months. So I go ahead and get through. All because I had my paperwork right and my business was established properly. That made it exciting to investors. So we're going to get with each new member. And Myrtle, if you'd like to consider membership, we can go ahead and get you in and get you on board for that. But Kai, we'll sit down with you one-on-one and take you through those steps to ensure that you're established and can get that access to capital.
And it doubles as what you don't know, this information, this would be new information for people. Different parts of the step, you go, oh, I didn't know you can do that, or if that was available to me, or if I should do it. And then another part of the process is accountability. So as a team, even if you knew everything that was in the checklist, to have someone around you to go, hey, you get to this point in the checklist, did you sign up for this? Did you do the bank account and things of that nature? So for me personally, I can say my experience has been that because of this group, it has moved me along through steps that even the steps that I knew already, like I knew I could do this or I should do this, but having amongst you who they want you to move from one box to the next and progress. And then finally, because of the group, my businesses was able to receive grant money because we took care of steps that are on that list. So when you have to get some things because of you doing things the right way and not boxing yourself out.
Right. So perfect. And next topic for our agenda is the wind down. The next wind down is May 30th. It's going to be held at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. And it's going to be focusing on real estate. All right, so Miss Ebony is going to be helping us put together a plan and get everything together with that theme as we get closer. But the main thing is prior preparation. We need to go ahead and get the Eventbrite started. We need to get the announcement on Facebook, and we need to get our social media information ready so that way we can run up to that. We've got a couple months before we get into it, but just proper prior preparation prevents potential problems.
Does anyone have the address for the Enterprise Center?
3903 Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, 33916.
Thank you, Myrtle.
You're welcome.
Boulevard.
Hey, Clifford. My P's are prayer and proper planning prevent poor performance.
There you go.
And our proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
There. 6 P's. Main thing is get your P's and Q's together. Because you're prepared.
Oh, really?
No, something like that. All right. So we got that going. All right. So we got the wind down coming up for that, and key membership as far as checklist. Focus is business development. We did have a great discussion. I just want to jump back to business development real quick, where Myrtle was mentioning the recidivism, and Jill was talking about how a lot of people fall into that recidivism because they don't have a plan. And one of the key things that somebody can take advantage of is having a business plan. Because when somebody has a felony and they have trouble getting a job, when you own a business, there's no background check. You run the show. You're going to hire yourself. You can ensure that. You can actually create a pathway that can provide a plan for many people that don't have that plan. It's all a matter of planning it out and creating your future, creating your opportunity, as Wes pointed out earlier. That's how you reject rejection. Is you're not going to fill out a bunch of job applications for them to tell you, no, we don't hire felons. You actually are the one that's putting together opportunity, so you avoid any of those no's. You don't have that rejection because you have a set plan of action of how to move forward.
Cliff, can I interject real quick?
Go for it, Joe.
Another thing is, honestly, when a guy's coming out of prison, that is the best time for him to start a business. Because let's just say he went to prison, he did X amount of time, he might have had a screwed up credit score. Well, you know, after so many years or whatever, certain things fall off, this, that, and the third. And once you come home, 9 times out of 10, you have good credit. So that's the best time really to kind of like try to start. So especially with us, so we can help them get lines of credit and things of that nature, opposed to, you know, they're out here and they have 500 credit score. It's gonna be hard to get them lines of credit. So I think coming home from prison, sometimes that's the best time to jump off that cliff and try entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. This country's made for entrepreneurship.
So
Everybody complains about paying taxes, but you pay significantly fewer taxes when you own your business because you get write-offs, because America is built for business. Too many of us have fallen into the employee mindset and the comfort of having that paycheck, that regular work coming in. Whereas entrepreneurship, it's a little bit stressful because not every paycheck is guaranteed until you have the business established. But even then, things can go sideways. But we have to be comfortable in taking advantage of our hustle. Just as people of color in general, we know about hustling. We just have to embrace it, formulate it into a plan, and execute. LJ,
How you doing?
doing well.
Morning. I'm sorry I'm late. I had a little conference this morning.
No worries, sir. No worries. So we were just talking about business development and covering the success principles of rejection, combining that with our checklist of ensuring that the business has everything together, and then all encapsulated into a business plan action so someone can move forward. And in particular, we were talking about people that had come out of prison, because one of our guests today actually has a program coming up February 13th at 11 a.m. at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center, covering recidivism and how to avoid that back to prison cycle. So that should bring you up to speed in a nutshell.
Okay, thanks.
So let me just say this, Mr. Clifford, also to Myrtle. I think that, so I'm not sure what your program is like, you know, catered to, or I understand the concept. My dad did 21 and a half years in prison. And I can say that I think here in Fort Myers, I think in Fort Myers, there are a lack of resources that can help with that. And I'm sure that's what your goal is, to help get those resources and things available, because my dad got out of prison. He moved back to Clearwater. In Tampa area, all the area is so many resources to help. These people help my dad purchase a car. They help him do so many other things. Now he got his CDL license. They help him pay for CDL school. He got his CDL license and he over the road. So I think it's like something here that has, like you said, it has to be broken, because it ain't right.
Right.
I think the DC network can fall behind that, because I think a lot of us is attached to that community in some form of way, and so I think we, you know, somehow we can actually use our talents and our skill set and also our services to basically be that resource.
Yeah, that's certainly a community involvement program that we can put together, along with the ones we're already establishing. So make sure to make a note and we can go ahead and put it on the list. All right, no problem, Myrtle, we understand. So Myrtle said that she has a customer, so she has to step away a bit, but we got about 9 more minutes for everything. So we got the floor open for general discussion or any other topics that anybody else has to bring up to the group.
Just one quick suggestion. There's something that's looming in the air around the world and in this country. I think a lot of us, you know, whether it happens or not, we need to prepare for. So, you know, you guys need to start stocking on food, water, you know, basically just, you know, just prep as much as possible. Not to put any fear in the air, but just like, you know, be ready for whatever that's, you know, that may or may not come.
No, that's something that's great in mind, because it's actually through times of uncertainty that people with a plan are the ones that actually make it out. Money is made in every stage of the economy, whether it's going up, whether it's going down, whether it's going sideways or whatever. It's just a matter of making sure that somebody has a plan of action to take advantage of it. I don't believe in luck, because what I find, luck is being ready when opportunity arises. All right, a lot of people think, oh man, the housing market went down, but that cat that was sitting on 100 grand ended up buying up all the empty lots because everybody else was getting out. He was ready. They'll call him lucky. He was prepared.
Exactly. But yeah,
Right.
stock up. That's a real shit going on.
Exactly. Speaking of shit, the guy that had the toilet paper back during the pandemic, that cat was sitting on it. He had a gold mine. He had all that toilet paper. All right. So just a little segue right there. See, that one was smoother. You like that? That was good.
I like that.
That one worked out.
That was good.
All right.
I like that.
That's pretty smooth, right? That's pretty smooth.
I have my moment. All right. So the key thing is, all this is about preparation and being ready. If everything goes sideways, there's a saying: when there's blood in the streets, buy land. The real estate workshop that we're going to be putting together is so critical, because I was listening to Dr. Claude Anderson over the weekend. He put out the point, or the statistic, but by 2053, Black home ownership and property ownership will be at 0%. That indicates that whatever calamity, whatever mass situation happens, actually scratch that. It wasn't Dr. Claude Anderson that I was listening to. It was, I think his name was Mike. He had run for president for the Democrats. And he was talking about how when the next crisis comes up, it's poor people and people of color that suffer the most. And that's the time that people end up losing their houses, losing their land, losing their property, and an exact catalyst as far as how Black ownership can go to zero because of a calamity like that. But when we can have the proper preparation and people have all of the skills, all of the funding in place that they can weather whatever storm is coming, we can be the insurance to make sure that nobody loses their property. On top of that, there was another brother that was saying how if everybody got insurance and they put it together in a family trust or a family bank, how anybody that does pass away through whatever calamity is coming on, that insurance policy only funds the future of everyone else. But that's all about proper prior preparation, having insurance,
Generational wealth.
having that trust in place to ensure you have that wealth, having the property protected.
So we need to fall in line. Like I think speaking on it is one thing. I think if we added that to our commandments, or basically the group, I think we can, do something with us as a family.
Well, I think a large part of that connects with the community land bank together. So that should be a principle that we instill in that, as far as making sure that they have proper insurance and making sure that they have a proper establishment for a trust or the change of hands whenever you do have property. Because whenever somebody passes away, even if they have a will, the property has to go through probate to execute that will. And whenever something goes through probate, you have taxes and you have fees. And many of that could be 30% of the value of that property. However, when it's in a trust, they avoid much of that and they defer much of those taxes.
No matter how much of a person or how much you trust the person that you're doing business with, or they're in your family, every time someone dies, it creates chaos. And you can avoid the chaos through, certain mechanisms and prior planning. You just got to prior plan and have a real plan, not the idea of a plan, Right. So anytime you create something with somebody, a lot of business coaches speak on exit strategies. So anytime you create anything that you're doing right now, you have to have various ways to get out of it, whether it's through retirement or selling shares, but also if something were to happen to one of your partners. And we're not just talking about life insurance here. We're talking about just having, you can have a beneficiary on your bank account. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but a lot of people are unaware that generally speaking, if you have bank accounts in your name, you can make someone a beneficiary of your bank account, and that person won't have access to any of the funds unless you die. And they don't have to go to court systems for this. You don't even need a trust for this. You just go to the bank and say, I want so-and-so to be the beneficiary. And if you die, that person goes to the bank, shows your death certificate, shows their ID, and they can pull the funds out. A lot of people are aware of that, so what winds up happening is Joe passed. They got to fight. These are all several things you can do.
Right. And that's actually one of the key things we do have to go over with the land bank is ensuring we have all these things in place. On top of that, everything that we're doing, we want to have everybody having a hand in it. So when we're putting together a real estate deal, we should make sure they have insurance. They should be talking to Brian. We should make sure that house has solar on the roof. We should make sure that the promotional package to sell that house, we went through Joe to get that. And the person that's getting that house, they have their account bookkeeping together. So they've talked to Serene, all right? So that they have their wealth management in place. They've talked to Wes. So that way everybody has a hand in it. So every activity we do, we're creating an opportunity for our members and in our membership. All right, so we want to make sure,
wealth,
and it's not written, it's not real. So we have to put it down on paper.
yeah. Speaking of wealth, I think when we conjure up this money to put together in order to create this the land bank, I think we should probably open up a cash insurance cash value account where we can dump the money in there and borrow against that account, so that way that account can continue growing interest, and we can use that borrowed money, which is our money, and when we pay it back, we pay ourselves back. But we can use that money to invest in anything, and we don't necessarily lose anything.
Well, Serene's shaking her head, so this might be some legwork we got to do to make that happen.
Yeah,
But I like the
we have to
concept,
talk about that.
but we'll have to talk about that more and develop it out. But we'll have that discussion during the land bank meeting. I was just mentioning that point as far as everybody should have a touch whenever we're doing a transaction. This way we're passing around any funds because people are going to get it anyway. They're going to get their insurance. They're going to get solar. They're going to have an accountant. They're going to have some financial plan. Even no plan is a plan. But we need to ensure that we have all those things together, and then we all have these funds passed around, because I don't remember the exact statistics, but basically $1 in the Black community leaves the Black community faster than it came in. I think they said it's like 50 cents comes in the Black community of $1.
It doesn't bounce at all.
If at all, right.
If at all.
Other
If at all.
bounces 9, 10, 12, 15 times before leaving somebody in that community.
And we spent the most. We spend money like we like one continent. We spent 1.9, almost $2 trillion of spending from African Americans in this country, and it's crazy we don't have our own national country.
Right. What were you gonna say, LJ?
That's insane. That's insane. That's insane. Just that number, you right. We can be our own, just whole entire country. You know what I mean? That's insane. Those numbers, just a Black spending.
Yeah.
You
Tremendous.
know what? I think that, I've been listening to y'all's governor and, and your number 45 before him. And, there was something that was done in the 60s and the 50s that we don't do anymore. And that is to consolidate our wealth within ourselves. And every other ethnic group that I know of does it, but us, at least we're not doing it currently. And I think that, I don't know, I know we have to start, with the elephant and we start in our community, but I think it should be something that we share among people who think like we think, Black and brown people.
Absolutely. And if you trace that back, you'll find that the key diversion point was actually integration. So it was a brain drain in our community. But it's come up at 9:30, so we're going to finish up on that point. Thank you, Green, for closing out with that. Appreciate everybody joining us today. Next meeting will be at 8:30 next Tuesday. That is Valentine's Day. And I sent out a thank you for everybody that attended the wind down. So we'll talk more about planning and the success of that in the next meeting as well. Just traffic ate me up the first 10 minutes, so we didn't get enough time to go into that. But thank you all for joining us. Be sure to have your contact information. Myrtle, I believe Brian has everything. I know you have a customer you're dealing with, so we'll get that into the notes. LJ, we've got your information. We'll reach out to you. Kai, I got to set up. I'm going to be going out of town this week for a business trip, but we got to put together some time. We'll start going over the checklist.
Let me know.
All right.
Hey, one thing before we leave, Cliff, one thing before we leave. We need to get back to the point to where we tracking the ROIs, because it's been a lot of money being passed around. Like, I know I've been getting a lot of orders. Just to let you know, my solar is up now. We're officially running. The guy called me Sunday and we got it going, so that's up and moving. But we definitely want to track the ROIs, because with new people coming in the group, it just shows like what we're really doing. Instead of just talking about it, we can just get them a number of what we're actually doing. So me and you can get together, Cliff, after the meeting sometime or later on today, this week, so we can start tracking that and inputting that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that checklist that we had on the spreadsheet we had going on that. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week.
Arrivederci.
That's what I need.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Baby.